Good morning, everyone. Another live presentation coming from our Expo West showroom here in Anaheim, California. Thank you for taking time today to join in. Hopefully you've seen some of the previous videos that we've done. We have another one. We're just going to expound a little bit more on one of our edge bander models. I am working today with Carlos, our local sales representative here on the West Coast. And we're going to take a few moments today to go a little bit deeper into the controller on the edge bander. We're standing in front of our 1329 model edge bander this morning, but this controller that we have here on the screen is the same on every machine. So even maybe it's a little smaller, a little bit larger, we use the same for all of them, which is nice. We have a continuity through the whole product line with the same controller. So there's a couple things that we want to point out today regarding the controller, and then we're going to talk about some of the tooling on the machine, run a couple parts so you can see how it is. So I'm going to turn it over to Carlos. He's going to explain a few things about the controller, what really makes it nice and convenient for everyone to use. Carlos?
Okay, yesterday we ran the 1057 streamer, and we showed how it is a manual operation to be able to go to two different profiles. And as you start looking at making different profiles and quick changeovers, this controller allows you to do that very quickly with the touch of a button. And also the thing we talked about yesterday, if you watched the presentation yesterday, if you didn't, you should go back and watch it.
Exactly.
Is about how to purge our glue jet system to be able to change colors, clean PUR, and etc. And yesterday we did it. It was a manual operation. You push a button and you had to stand there and watch it. In this particular case now, we have the ability to do this with one touch of a button right here. It would be there to be able to push a button and purge your color or purge your PUR while you clean the rest of the machine or prepare the rest of the material that comes on.
Once you select that button, then it's an automatic process. You just get out of the way. You can clean the machine, lift the hood, whatever, and it's just going to automatically purge the old glue that's in there.
So that's one of the advantages of having the control. The other control, the control also we talked about yesterday, being able to put programs in for specific profiles. And when you get to a machine that has multi-tool and you have 4 different profiles, then it's a matter of just picking the program out, not having to adjust anything that you want to do.
Along the same line of the glue, we were talking about some of the benefits that this controller gives us. Carlos, maybe you can explain what this part of the screen. I know you can't see it closely, but we can explain it to you. Carlos, explain that to us if you want.
Yeah, one of the things that happens when you want to change a color or change PUR, you want to kind of have an idea how much, because glue is money. It's going to cost money to purge. It is an expense you will have to account for. This control allows you to see right here how many linear meters you have left in the glue puck. So you can say, okay, I'm running white. Let's see, I got how many? 45 meters left?
Right.
You can look at your parts and say, do I put another puck in there, or should I stop now, purge, go to a different color? Or if you're using PUR, which is a little bit more expensive than EVA, you can say, I'm going to stop today because I have to clean the machine, I have to purge it, and start again tomorrow because I have 5 meters left and I got 25 meters left of material to do. Let me just do that tomorrow and go from there. So this is a great benefit here.
One other thing that this does, this says 45 meters. That's based on the beam height. If I raise the beam, obviously it's going to use more glue, so that number will change. It'll get smaller. Right now we have it set for a 3/4 inch panel. If I went to a narrower part, again, that number would adjust accordingly. So the machine is smart enough to calculate based on the beam position and the cartridge and how much glue is in there, how much you have left with the cartridge. So it helps you to understand that better.
One of the benefits of going to a machine like this, the versatility to be able to run one-up part. You know, if you set a machine up and you want to, it used to be used to doing a lot of parts, of big runs. This machine is really set up to do a kitchen at a time, a part at a time, 3 parts, 4 parts, 20 parts, depending on what you need to do. And one of the things that has happened is we've gone to a system called FAST. And what that allows you to do is to be able to change from cutting the first and second edge to the third and fourth edge without having to wait for the machine to clear. So in the old days, if you ran a part that was just the first edge and the second edge, you would have to wait for the machine to clear before you could start running the third or fourth part.
Or we'll change the program.
Or change the program.
The part has to be completely out of the machine, before you then change the program, and then run the next part. So this FAST system has really shortened that process up. We can change it while the part's still in the machine.
While the part's running through, yes.
Yeah, and then as the part exits, then each unit will change right after that, and immediately you can begin changing. So if you make a lot of changeovers in a given day, man, it's going to save you a lot of time because we don't have to wait for all the parts to go completely through the machine before we can go to the next program.
And this machine, which is, one of our smaller machines, but if you were to go to an Acura in 1998, it's 30 plus feet long. So by the time you start here and clear 30 feet, you're losing some time. We estimate that you're going to probably lose 20 seconds waiting for the machine to clear. You change a part, you're changing parts 5, 6, 10 times in an hour. That's a lot of production time you're going to lose. So to be able to start producing immediately is a benefit. Okay, so now we're going to turn the machine on, and we'll show you we're going to run the first and second side, and while the last part's running through, we're going to switch the control or switch the operation and be able to load the third and fourth pass without having to wait for the machine to clear. Yvonne? We're working with Yvonne today again, as always. So we're going to wait for the temperature to heat up because we've had the machine shut down. And here's your temperatures up here. Main heater, nozzle.
So from a cold start, we've mentioned this before, but if it's already been warmed up a little bit, it's 168, 175. Thermostat was set for 220, 205, what's your thermostat set? And so from a room temperature, to get up to operating temperature is usually less than 3 minutes. Since we already were pretty warm, it'll be a pretty quick heat up. So, but what Carlos was explaining, there's a button right here that says 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. So if I'm doing a part with 4 edges, and I want to put the first 2 edges on, and then when I do the third and fourth edge, I'm going to use a different program. With corner rounding, this is just a little shortcut that helps to save time, because if I didn't have this button here, I'd have to go back to the main program where my whole list of programs are, find the one, and then load it. So it's several touches on the screen, takes a little bit of time, and this is just a shortcut, makes it real easy. So when we build our programs in the library, we use a nomenclature in such a way that we know these 2 programs go together. So it'll be 1 and 2, sides 1 and 2, and then we hit 3 and 4, and it automatically switches. I don't have to go look, find the program in my library. It's much easier and much quicker.
Okay, so they can see the change going from part 1 and 2 to...
Yeah, right, yeah, so this screen actually shows you the differences between sides 1 and 2 and sides 3 and 4, and what's going to happen. And I know you can't read it, but there's a lot of choices. Front edge, bottom, back edge, top front, top back. You've got all these different choices, and you'll build your program based on what you need it to do. And then I can just toggle between sides 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 just by using this button right here, and then all the changes are automatically applied to that program. So we've got the green light up here. The temperature's right there. The green light on the screen here.
1 and 2.
Yep. So that we're ready to roll.
Okay. Now what Yvonne just did, right there, he ran 1 and 2, and before that part was out of the machine, he was able to switch to 3 and 4 and run the other side without having to wait for it to clear out. So you're able to change to do this profile or the third, fourth pass without having to wait for the machine. The other great thing about this control, when you look at this, if for some reason you had to change one of the cutters to be able to do something different, you didn't want to corner around the front edge and stuff, this control allows you to change that on the fly immediately, even though we already had the program written, without having to go back and write a different program for a part. You're running all these parts and their doors, and then you come up with the shelf, and the shelf says, I don't want any corner rounding here. You can go ahead and press the buttons here and run that same part throughout without having to change the program or anything like that. So from the standpoint of a manufacturer who's doing a lot of different product, a lot of different changes. The touch control is probably the best way to go. You can accomplish those things here, but it's manual and it takes a lot of time. And so the new control and the fast system to be able to continuously keep the machine running, which is the goal of any machine that you have in your shop. You want to walk out and you want to hear the rhythm of that edge bander going and if you're in manufacturing, you're a plant manager or an owner, when you walk out in that shop, you get used to the fact that those noises and that rhythm is what's making your shop run and ultimately making you some money.
So I think one of the things that we want to go in a little more depth on is the tooling that's on this machine. Maybe I can walk up to the camera and
Sure.
you can get a good view of this. Let's see how well you can see this tool here. If I get right up here, there we go. So if you look at this tool, you'll see these 3 different cutter heads on here, and then on each one of these 3, there's 4 different profiles on the edge of this cutter head. You can see it pretty good right there. So there's 4 different profiles, and these cutter heads come in different variations of 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter, flush, bevel, radius. There's quite an assortment of different options for the different profiles on this cutter head. So what happens is the flush trimming station, the corner rounding station, and the scraper all have a similar cutter head like this. So as we load a program for, say, 2 millimeter with a radius, they would all rotate so that the 2 millimeter knife was on the edge and it could be used for the cutting. So we can rotate this to very quickly and easily change from one profile to the next, all those stations all at the same time, and very easily change our profiles. So we call it a multi-tool. We have it on this machine. It's available on a lot of our different models. And for those people that are changing constantly throughout the day, multiple changeovers, and this is just a great option that allows you to change quickly and easily from one profile to the next. And again, it saves you time. Carlos mentioned that previously, that if the machine is not doing anything and the operator is standing here making adjustments, making changes, creating programs, that's downtime, that's dead time, that's lost production. So this tooling, what we call multi-tool on these edge banders, really helps to streamline that process, virtually almost completely eliminates any downtime when you go from one program to the next. And that's how we do this with this, what we call the multi-tool cutter heads on the edge banders. All right, Carlos, anything else we want to mention today?
I think we've covered most of it, but again, the multi-tooling and this kind of machine is great for residential guy who does a lot of different, anymore. You talk to customers, they don't know what color they're going to make, they don't know what size they're going to make, they don't know what thickness of edge banding is going to go on there, and people will say, I get people who say I want 1 millimeter on one edge and 3 millimeter on the other edge.
So the ultimate flexibility.
Ultimate flexibility in manufacturing of cabinet doors, shelves, and cabinet components.
Great. So we appreciate you taking time to watch today. We are here in Anaheim at our Expo West showroom. If you have time this afternoon, come on by and speak with us.
Just one quick thing. If you want to see the control up close, please call us. Come on down. We can demonstrate all of the functions of every control live. It looks a little complicated, maybe from a distance,
actually quite easy.
But it's actually quite easy. So we invite you to come down so we can go through the control on a one-on-one basis so you can understand a little bit better.
Great. Thank you for watching today. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something. Look forward to seeing you.